How pleased were you with that performance across the board, Luke?
I'm really pleased, Glenn. I expected it to be an extremely tough and hard battle early, and the arm wrestle inside, and obviously they got out to a bit of a lead, in that first quarter that we managed to just claw our way back early, which was a positive sign. But in these games, I mean, the thing about Fremantle and what they've been able to do is we think they're a team that work extremely hard, and their balance in the game in all the phases has been really strong. That's why they've been winning games. So to beat them, you've got to be on your mettle and you've got to be close to your best. And the discussion was around if we keep doing the things that hold us in good stead, that we know give us a platform to have some wins along the way, that maybe, just maybe, they start making mistakes. And so I think we put them under enough pressure to be able to do that and then capitalise on it. And we just used the ball a lot better today. We really did. We used each other, but our distribution inside our front half was a lot better, and we were able to really capitalise on a swag of forward 50 entries and the differential there sort of suggests that you should win the game, and we just used the ball and kicked it to advantage a lot better, and that meant that if we didn't mark it, the ground level contest was an opportunity for us, rather than them with their their sweeping possession game, uncontested mark game that really puts you on the edge around team defence. So I think we kept them to under 70 uncontested marks. So that's an outstanding achievement by the boys. And a lot of terrific performances, but a lot of evenness in it as well.
You mentioned pressure just then. I mean, the fact that you were dominating the tackle count for pretty much most of the day, and then you end up with so many more disposals as well. To get that balance right, you must have been wrapped with that part of it. Yeah,
it's an outstanding result in the end. I mean, without getting carried away, we're 7-7, and we're right in the middle of the pack. So and a bit lower than that. So we can't get too excited, other than to say that I'm really pleased and proud of the group and the way that they've just persevered through a pretty difficult period. And through that difficult period, no one in this competition is easy to beat, but we knew there were challenges ahead. So to be able to get a little bit of momentum back in the season and at least give us a bit of a look as we come out of the bye over the course of the next couple of weeks is a good position for us to be in.
Have you got a handle where you're at? You say 7-7 relative to the other clubs at the moment, or is that something you're still working through yourself about where you're at in that sense? Or?
Yeah, look, you can look at each game and find a positive and a negative and be pretty neutral about certain things, and I think back to the Sydney game. Obviously Sydney have had an outstanding first part of the season, and we were up at half time and playing pretty good footy. We were almost 50 points, and they were just a couple of points shy of us, but we lose a couple of players in that game, and you're not sure how that turns out in the end. You see their brilliance unfold, and so if Sydney are the benchmark and we're able to look like we could challenge them for a period of the game, we get to play Sydney again a bit later on, so we'll and it's a fair way off, so we can't look too far ahead. We've got North Melbourne when we come back after the bye, but I think that's an example of where you bring some of your best, and in a team that's evolving and hopefully emerging again, then it's encouraging. So we're encouraged by certain things, and then you also try not to reflect too hard on the ones that got away maybe, but they're also there.
Without Norton and Darcy, you produced 10 individual goal kickers, your highest score of the year. It must have been a really pleasing aspect of the day as well.
Yeah, it is, Ronnie. So you replace a couple of the forwards with the guys you mentioned, and in the end it comes back to the core style and systematic way you want to go about it, and who kicks the goals doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's great when you get that much of a spread. There would have been a few boys who didn't kick a goal who kicked points as well, and And I think we had 4 boys who kicked at least 3. So, and that's tremendous. Great for Westy, who kicked 4 on his 50th. Not that it's all about hitting the scoreboard, because there's other things that are expected and desired from your smaller forwards. So, yeah, encouraging, and I suppose from the purest point of view, the score line, I suppose, is a pretty good game to watch for Western Bulldogs supporters.
Your skipper was crook all week and then comes out and does that. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, he did some really special things, Marcus, and I think the goal that he kicked, and I said to the players at half time, the one he kicked just before half time, where competes in the air and it's 1v3, he's got every right to go to ground after that aerial contest, but kept his feet, see the strength, fends off, and the brilliance in the finish. Look, we talk about the little things in footy, but there's no replacement for brilliance and team lifting stuff. And we had a lot of team lifting, inspiring sort of examples throughout the course of the game. But that's one thing, that just sort of, I suppose, epitomises what he does and the strength in his game. So it's an influential game from him after he's pretty cool. He's got a sty in his eye and he's run down, and he didn't train with the group, but he comes this afternoon and like the rest of that midfield brigade, he set a really strong example. Adam, Ed Richards, and obviously Libba, in his role, and Sarong really towed us up last time. So for him to play that role, similarly to what he did with Matty Rowell when we played Gold Coast, was really important for us. And the rucks, really pleased for Lobby, under a lot of pressure against his old side. And I just thought his game coming in with the weight on his shoulders was just tremendous for him, and an outstanding result. And Tim had to shoulder a lot of that load in the ruck, so he was really important in the scheme of things.
I was just going to say on Tom, does he get a glint in his eye when you go to him earlier in the week and say, I've got a role for you to play? Does he just thrive on that and love that sort of combative style?
Yeah, sometimes he offers, Glenn.
Did he offer on this occasion?
He did.
He did?
Yeah.
When did he come to you?
Need me to go to someone?
Yeah.
Look, I think the thing with everyone who's coming back from a concussion, Tom had some time off.
Yeah.
I did say a couple of weeks ago, I don't know how many examples there are of players who come back after concussion and just play the house down, And look, he probably wasn't at his best last week, and sometimes being task orientated for a change and not being so creative then can sort of right the ship a little bit. And the glint's in his eye when he offers, and it sort of twinkles when you agree. So and with their midfield, there's a number of guys who are influential, and we just thought, hey, if this thing is a half issue or a halved result, that's good for us. So Caleb's a very good player, and we feel like he's a really strong leader at Fremantle as well. His influence with his voice and what he does is helping them climb the charts. So it was an important role.
You've had a front row seat to Bont's career, most of his career. Is he the best dog of all time? I mean, there's a lot of chat going on, EJ, Charles Sutton, but where do you think he ranks?
Oh, Ronnie, I'd rather not sort of get too Disneylandish on Marcus, because I think the other thing is we're 7-7. We get back to that, and he doesn't want me talking publicly about him too much, but there are a number of players within our group, Adam Treloar in particular, Norts before he got injured, Liam Jones as a stalwart down there. I think we're not even talking about Bailey Dale and Lockie Bramble's game. I mean, they're our high defenders. They were just, their influence in the game was outstanding. The overlap and the ball use and the willingness to defend, their balance in their game was a big part of the result. And so Marcus has spread that praise. We all take the blame when it goes wrong, but you spread it when you win, and he definitely liked to spread it. yeah, we'll wait till the end of his career before we start talking about whether or not he's been the absolute best.
Would it be nice to see him finally win a Brownlow though? Like, it's come so close.
Well, I think, the year he had in 21 was, one of the best seasons I've ever seen from an individual, and he didn't win it that year, so I don't know what you have to do in the end.
Sorry, okay. Holding the ball, how clear are you on that after today?
I don't really want to comment too much on it. I will say that there was a time, and this is the distinction between what was planned for the new adjudication and what has been. There was an incidence in the game where, I can't remember who it was, got the ball around half forward, didn't have pride, was tackled, stood up in the tackle, spun around, the whistle was blown, ball up. Prime example of the whistle being blown early, have to make a decision on whether or not there was prior opportunity or not. There wasn't. Balled up, good decision. And that's what I think, the two coaches were talking about way back when they suggested it should change. If there's conjecture around whether or not it was umpired correctly today, I don't think it's anything to do with the change. It's just, has there been prior opportunity and has it been disposed of correctly? Did they have a reasonable time? It's hard, So if there were instances where you feel that the umpires didn't make the correct decision, I think that's okay. It's in the game. That's what happens.